Hey guys, it's me, my face, and a whole pile of stuff. Hey guys, thanks for coming to watch today. I'm trying something a little different with my setup. I more than once have been very, I don't have a table in front of me when I sit over there, and I like surfaces and things like that. It's someplace to keep my wine. You didn't really think that there were valid YouTube reasons for this. I wanted my wine. Had no place to keep it over there. Decided to sit at the desk. This is what we're doing today. I have got gajoodles of things to talk to you about this week. I did things. I did stitchy things. I have notes. I have like 2 pages of notes. We're all going to be really disappointed if this ends up being a 10-minute video because notes. So I guess we should just dive right into the stitching. The first thing that I worked on this week is Death by Cross Stitch. Guys, I started an alphabet. Look at what I did. I started with the E and worked backwards, and I was not going to bed until that purple A was done. I had a lot of thinking to do. I knew I wanted the A to be purple. And on my kind of plan, as much as anything I do can be called a plan, I also have the Z as being purple and the divider lines in between. But as I was stitching, I thought another opportunity for initials to make their appearance, I could make the H in purple. But if I do that, it's 2 kind of random looking letters in the alphabet. I'll say they're not nicely spaced. It's the alphabet. It's kind of set in stone-ish. But I didn't really like it. But I'm not really liking the Z. And then I was like, well, maybe I could do the A, the H, and the Z, and that's not going to make sense to anybody. Somebody finds this in 200 years' time, they will not know what the hell's going on. I actually received a question on last week's video. I think it was last week's video. Guys, I am 95% caught up on my comments, commenting on comments, things like that. We're going to get into comments later because I got a thing to say. But one of the comments was somebody asking, like, how do you know what parts you're going to do in purple? Are you just kind of winging it, or is there a plan? There is sort of a plan. You're probably, over here, probably seeing it as we speak. Literally what I did was take the picture of the finished pattern, opened it up in Photoshop, and then just started picking out motifs that I wanted to see, like I wanted to highlight. And then after that was done, I went back through and added some more things so that it isn't even, like totally even, but it's balanced. It's not like you look at any one part and go, wow, that's all in purple, or ooh, that's all in black. So I think I managed to spread them out fairly well. We won't know until I'm done. And then it'll be too late because I am not restitching this. I'm not restitching this. No matter how interesting I think restitching this 1/1 on some really high count. No. No, Andrea. No. The next thing that I worked on, or actually the next thing I'm going to tell you about, is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I made some progress. I didn't do another pumpkin, but I did some serious, where am I? Get this over this side. I cannot see whether you can see that, so that if it's terrible, I will just replace that with a still image. But yeah, I got a lot of those vines done. And it was pretty good. We were watching not old, but, recorded Ghost Adventures, and it was just enough to keep my attention to both things. So the vines went pretty quickly, and so did the ghost drama. So as many of you noticed, last Sunday I put a poll up on the community tab asking to help me pick my next start because I wanted a new start. And I picked 4 patterns. One of them was Wool Something by Teresa. The other was, you know what, I'm going to put them up on the screen. Why do I not know what side of the screen I'm on anymore? I'm going to put them up because I don't remember what the other 3 were, but one of them was By the Light of the Moon, which is a primitive needle freebie that I got off of Pinterest. Don't at me. It was a freebie. It says you can reproduce it. Don't get me started. And luckily that was on there and is currently winning the contest because I started it like 20 minutes after I posted the poll. So I'm glad that it won. I got a fair amount done. Again, I don't know what side of the screen I'm on, so I am just trying to see around. I am doing this in some DMC. Am I doing it in some DMC? No, I don't think I am. I believe I'm doing it in a Classic Colorworks. I'm doing it in some Victorian Motto sampler threads and some random Silks for You that I found. That I think I've tried to use this orange 4 times in projects and ripped it out every time because it's just pink enough to annoy me. But in here, that's 1/1, kids. You can barely see it. So it is just fine. And I have missed stitching in silk. I think I got spoiled and then I got unspoiled and now I'm re-spoiled. I'm a princess. Yeah. So then the next day, I wanted another new start. So I did. This is actually something, I bought this last year, I think. I think this was the 2018 Mystery Haunted Mansion from Tiny Modernist. As you can see, I did not do a ton, but it's a start. And look at me, I'm starting in the middle. Who am I? What have I done with me? I don't know. This pattern threatened to be just a little too cute for me to want to do, but despite how really saccharine, cute, sweet it is, I really, really wanted to do it. And I think it's the roof. I think that roof and that moon is everything. Everything else is just going to be adorable. It's going to look great when it's done. It's a great pattern. It's very cute. If I had kids, first of all, that would be a sure sign of the apocalypse. But secondly, yes, that would be a great, I would hang that up in my house because the kids would love it. It's very brightly colored. It's very, the roof and the moon. That's why I'm stitching this. So 2 new starts in a week. That's it's a little unusual for me. I think I'm going to have a 3rd new start soon. Okay. If you're not watching Teresa, Little Stitcher, you've gone wrong. Go back, son. Go back. Start again. She is delightful. She is lovely. She lives in a lovely home. She does lovely stitching. Just everything about her is fantastic. And in addition to that, she is doing a multi-part series of stitching your first full coverage piece, which I wasn't going to watch because I wasn't going to stitch a full coverage piece. But she was there and I was there and I clicked play, and now I am thinking of starting my Haid. I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just saying I am thinking of starting my Haid. And when I say thinking, I mean I imported the pattern into OneNote and I got the floss list and I've started to pull out my big bin of flosses over here, which we will also talk about in a few minutes, to see what I have and what I need. And swear to you, I am almost sure that I kitted this thing up. I really think I did. But I don't know when, and I don't know what happened to the floss. So I'm going to do it again. And that means I will probably find the original batch of floss that I purchased. What am I doing? Look at the colors in this thing. This is not my aesthetic. Why am I stitching this? Because it's amazing. It is amazing. I wanted to stitch this pattern from the first second I saw it as part of a downloaded PDF of a magazine where half of the pattern was in that particular issue and then the other half was going to be in another issue that I couldn't find. It was before I had a greater understanding of these things. I do not have the I probably do. I probably do have the PDF somewhere, but God only knows where. So let's not even worry about it. Either way, I did not get the whole pattern. I had to wait until Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale, and I noticed it, and I said, "You're coming home with me, bunny." I'm going to stitch a Haid, guys. I have no idea how to feel about it. I should feel better about it than this, but yeah, I'm going to do it. And when I slowly descend into madness, I'm going to blame Teresa. I'm going to. It won't help, but I'm going to. Oh, and I'm also going to be doing Templar's Prophecy. I'm just waiting for my paycheck to hit, and I'm going to buy the fabric and the silk. I'm not doing it all in silk. No. I'm going to do it on probably either 32 or 36 count linen or something. And I figure that with the black DMC, the coverage should be okay. I shouldn't run into the same problem that I have with Death by Cross Stitch. And then I'm going to try to find a nice, like either a blood red or a scarlet or something like that. Maybe in silk, maybe in like a hand-dyed, to use as like an accent. And it also looks like there may be some opportunities to throw some metallics in there. Hey, light effects. I have so much light effects. And you know, in a very controlled circumstance, they're not awful. I can do it. I think the best advice I can give in using light effects is you use one strand. And if you're doing like a 2/2 kind of piece, use one strand and go around and then go around again kind of thing. So do every leg twice. So you'll get the coverage without getting the clumps and the weird kind of thing. I digress. I don't even have the pattern yet. But I am, and it's going to be a stitch along because why not? My stitchy godmother, Laura, and I have already decided to stitch this thing together, and other people have expressed an interest in stitching it themselves. So why don't we just sell the thing? Of course, you're going to have to wait for me to actually buy it. I mean, I probably shouldn't ask you to wait for me, but it's my channel and I'm going to. So just hang in. Just hang in and let me order the thing and get it in. I'm going to get the PDF, so that should be fast enough, but I have to order the fabric. And I should probably get another cone of 310 because I don't know how much this will take. I can find out. I have the internet. So, yeah, it's a big stitchy week. What happened to Christmas hair and Wicked Christmas? I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I could say I'm just not in a Christmas mood. But, I mean, Wicked Christmas is just as Halloween-y as it is Christmas. But I'm not. I go to the shelf and there's all my whips. And I don't pick them. And I don't see myself picking them anytime soon. So we'll just leave them on the shelf. And the day that one of those things talks to me, then we'll see how it goes. I do not have any haul to show you. I was responsible this week, and I went out and bought the stupid jeans. Bought 3 pairs. I hate all of them because I didn't try them on. And they're too big, and You know, if they were too small, I could say, okay, good incentive to go back on the potato diet and get into these jeans. But no, they're too big. So I'm not going to eat to get back in them. I mean, that's totally something I would do. It's totally something I would do, but I'm not going to. So I am going to try to wash them a few times and see if they can shrivel in on themselves and, you know, pull themselves together. You know, I have a butt. It'd be nice if, you know, my jeans didn't just sag all over them. I'm glad that everybody was able to download the It's Fine pattern from last week. If you missed it, I will link up in the cards to last week's video and you can go and get that out of the description box. I'm trying to think of what to do next. But you know, the same problem I was having last week and the week before. I get a little idea and I go and start it and then it turns into a big idea, or it just segues into something completely different. Or, you know, I'm 3 hours into it and I look at it and I say, I can't give this away. This is a lot of pattern here. I don't want to give this away. Because I'm my own worst enemy. Seriously. But hopefully that pattern gives you a way to use up some of your ends of floss and little scraps of Ada or even weave. Word about Ada. I was watching my girl, your girl. She's all our girl. Not in a weird way. No. She's a good girl. Michelle, Bendy Stitchy. I was watching one of her videos today and she was talking about how she has done this like a series with other people. Like everybody, there was one topic. Let's start at the beginning. A couple weeks ago, a bunch of different floss tubers each did a small video about their favorite flosses. And they sat and they talked about them, showed them off, this, that, and the other thing. It was a really good series. So this past one, I think the same group and possibly more people have now done individual videos on their favorite fabrics. And Michelle chose to do hers on Ada because so many people have become fabric snobs. And I mean, I'm even guilty of it in some ways. I have been watching Fat Quarter Shop. I know her name, Kimberly. And she will talk about fabrics and saying, you know, I did this on 10 count Ada. And I think 10 count, oh my God, that's like a rug. What is 10 count? Who's stitching on that? I should not think that. 10 count is as valid as 20 count. It's fun. Guys, it's fun. I don't think you can see it. Yes, you can. You can see it. It's right there. It's fine. It's fine. You know, I stitch on Ada. I stitch on mystery linen. I mean, come on. The stuff that I bought, I think is like an upholstery linen. It was cheap and it was even-ish and it takes coffee dye well. So who cares where it came from, what it's made out of? Is it Witchelt? Is it... That's the only name I know. It doesn't matter. Ada is fine. It's better than fine. It's what everybody stitched on for ages. There's a reason they include it in kits. It's easy to work on. It looks really good. If the outcome wasn't going to be acceptable, Dimensions wouldn't be putting it in their kit thingies. Kit thingies. Look them up. Dimension kit thingies. So embrace the Ada. I embrace the Ada. You should embrace the Ada. Or embrace whatever it is you're into. I'm not going to judge. Neither should you. Apparently there is a playlist of the fabric videos that Michelle and her buddies have made, and I will link it in the places where we link things. Speaking of linking things, I have decided that I am going to reserve a spot at the end of my videos where the end cards show up, and usually it's a link to my last upload, to the binge watch playlist, and I think whatever YouTube thinks you should watch next, something like that. I have reconfigured my layout, And one of those spots is going to be a shout out. I'm going to link at the end of each video somebody that I would like you to go and visit if you're looking for somebody else to watch. I'm going to try to make them, at least at first, people that I really enjoy that I don't think are getting enough views or enough subscribers. People who I just don't think are on enough people's radar. So this week it is Rita Marie over at Rita Marie's Stitching Adventure. She is delightful. She's so easy to listen to. Her accent is yes. Her stitching is lovely. I love the projects that she works on, and she just is very pleasant. She's very positive. It is a non-stressful channel to watch, and don't we all need some non-stressful things to watch? So make sure you watch to the end, so when you see the end cards, and you can click through to her latest video. What else we got? The other reason that all my DMC is pulled out onto the bed is I am, as always, looking to reorganize it. And I think since getting the Victorian Motto sampler threads and putting them on those like wire key rings, I like being able to see them all out in front of me like that, so that if I'm thinking of a color, if I'm looking for a color, I know where I'm going. I would like to do that with my DMC. I would like to kind of, store them the way I would a fancy floss with, I think they're called a floss drop. Take them out of the skein, make them nice long pieces, nice little loop over the thing. No stress. No pawing through a gajillion little baggies in number clumps to find the one that I'm looking for. I want to be able to just go through them, in pieces that I can walk around with and not have to drag things out from under the bed. So the thing that is stopping me right now, and by stopping me, I mean I was too lazy to put real clothes on today and go over to Joann's or Michael's to buy a hole punch. I have to, if I'm going to do this, I have to make my own thread drops, because I am trying to live a slightly more sustainable life. Like, I have cardstock here. I have a paper cutter here. I have a small hole punch here. I have everything I pretty much need to do this myself here. Or I can order paper thread drops off of the internet and have the carbon footprint of delivering 18 pounds of dog food for little paper thread drops. I don't want to do that. I'm trying not to use straws. I'm trying not to use coffee stirrers. I'm trying not to order things unnecessarily when I have the materials myself. Because otherwise the materials are just going to sit here and eventually I'll throw them out and they'll be in a landfill, and that's useless. So if you have any better ideas of how to make my own thread drops, what to make them from, I was thinking I have note cards and I have like a heavier cardstock. I think we, back in the day we used to call it oak tag. I have things like that here. I have a paper cutter to cut them into pieces. So, what am I missing other than a 1/2 inch hole punch? Why does it have to be a 1/2 inch? Well, because that's what Victorian Motto sampler threads uses, and I like that, so that's what I'm emulating. Copying. Emulating. If you know a place to get one of those hole punches cheap, let me know, because they're not cheap. So I mentioned a little earlier that I am mostly caught up on my comments. I have more than once made the decision that I'm going to stop fretting over the comments. The comments are supposed to be positive. They are one of the best parts about having a YouTube channel is the interaction, but I am overthinking how little I have to say when a comment pops up. I'm overthinking how many of somebody's points I need to address in a comment. It's a YouTube comment, Andrea. Say thank you. Just say thank you. Be a person once in your life. So yeah, if you see me start to use a few more canned responses, or, you know, if your thank you looks a lot like 30 other thank yous on the videos, please understand that I just do not have that many ways of saying thank you other than saying thank you. Thank you. So I think we will end this video with Dante poking around behind me. What are you doing? Something's about to happen. Some sort of mischief. I think we should end this week with another giveaway. Why not? This is another lovely pattern that I received from my stitchy godmother. It is just not really my style, but I think it might be some of yours. This is Let the Music Play. And I actually don't think I even realized when I looked through this the first time that, you know, it's not just these ones on the front with the very patriotic, somebody has a spouse or a child in the military. I think that would be great to stitch. But there's also, but wait, there's more. A violin, a G clef, I'm remembering vaguely, and whatever. Oh, what are those, ballet shoes? Looks like ballet shoes in the ocean. It is definitely not ballet shoes in the ocean. It is ballet shoes and a flute and a ballerina and a floral crown, and I don't know if you are into... That is a lot of things in one picture. And you could stitch them. If you want a chance at this, just comment below with, I would like to stitch the music patterns. I would like to stitch the music patterns, and I will look for the word music to try to find our winner next week. Put your comment in by next Thursday, whose date I will put over where Dante is playing, and we will choose it probably Friday afternoon. Dying. It was 55 degrees most of the day, and then it shot up to 70 for no clear reason in the middle of the afternoon. All right, guys, I am going to get this video edited and uploaded and ready for tomorrow, and try to work on some of my floss storage issues. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments, your likes, and your dislikes. And thank you for being my community. I'm happy to be a part of it. Bye, guys.